Do you have liver fat, hepatic steatosis? In this video, I'm going to tell you the 7 foods that you should avoid, the 7 types that can harm your liver, can increase the fat process in your liver, the 7 foods that you're going to remove. And also, I'm going to tell you the best foods that you're going to include in your diet, along with the best practices. If you do these 19 things that I'm going to talk about here, 7 to take out and 11 to include, you'll be doing a great good to your liver. And this is also going to contribute to the treatment of liver fat. In mild and moderate cases, you can even reverse this hepatic steatosis process, the infiltration of fatty liver. So pay close attention. And you're going to promise me that you won't stop any type of treatment with your doctor or any medicine that he prescribed, any measure that he told you to do, because this video does not substitute a doctor's consultation. But I'm sure that your doctor will thank you because you'll really have a much better chance of improving your liver fat. Let's go. Starting then by the list of foods that you're going to eliminate. What are the types of foods that you will no longer consume? Later I'll talk about the best ones. Keep in mind that both lists are equally important. Got it? So let's go. There are 7. Number 1, simple sugar, but I'll include carbohydrates. Not only the refined sugar you add to your diet, like sugar in coffee. I hope you don't drink sweetened coffee, but if you do, know that you have to remove the sugar from the coffee. Any type of refined sugar, sugar that you add to the diet. But not only that, simple carbohydrates. What are simple carbohydrates? When you ingest simple carbohydrates, your body digests them. It will increase your blood sugar. Soon you will have an insulin spike. You will have this entire process. A metabolism that's not favorable to those who have fatty liver disease. So simple carbohydrates like bread, pasta, cakes, and I'm referring to regular bread made with wheat flour, including breads that use normal wheat flour. These are the type of foods you should avoid, hence why I explained they can worsen fatty liver development. Does this mean I can't ever eat bread again in my life? No. These are foods that you should pay more attention to, preferably avoid them if you can. If you are going to consume pasta, go for whole wheat pasta, for example. But I've heard that there isn't much of a calorie difference. Indeed, you're right. There isn't much of a calorie difference between regular pasta and whole wheat pasta. But whole wheat pasta has more fiber, which can help in this process. It lowers the glycemic index. So it's better to avoid, but if you're going to consume, you should prefer whole foods, also with grains that can help in this process. So, added sugar, simple carbohydrate, preferably avoid it. Number 2, sausages like salami, copa, parma ham, turkey breast. Look, you thought turkey breast was healthy, and it's not, alright? Because these foods have preservatives, nitrates, nitrites. They've even been linked to an increased risk of bowel cancer, colorectal cancer, and it also has a high amount of sodium. Salami, for example. And you have to be careful with sodium as well. Fat in the liver is often associated with other diseases, such as high blood pressure. Why? These diseases are diseases of metabolism, increased blood fats, diabetes, increased triglycerides. So you have to take care of the sodium issue as well. So avoid sausages, you'll do a huge good for your health. Number 3, be careful with drinks. Sodas, sweetened beverages, even full-fat juices with no added sugar. Why? Because the sugar in fruit is very concentrated, like grape juice, orange juice. Here it's the opposite of food. You should prefer whole foods, but the drink called whole drink, means it has no added water. In other words, it's a more concentrated drink. And for those with liver fat, you need to be careful because you're consuming a high amount of sugars and a simple sugar, which will increase your blood sugar and will exacerbate the hepatic steatosis process. Of course, this applies to item number 1 that I explained. If you take a sip of grape juice, it's not going to cause you to have liver fat. But if you have liver fat, you need to be cautious with sweetened soda drinks. Oh, but isn't grape juice healthy? Don't grapes have polyphenols? Don't they have antioxidants? Yes, grape juice is healthy. Here, I'm specifically talking to those who have liver fat or who are treating another disease like diabetes. You need to avoid grape juice and orange juice. Got it? Number 4. Before number 4, don't forget to like this video and aim for 10,000 likes if you're helping yourself and enjoying this format. You've noticed that I didn't even make an introduction. I've already jumped straight into the foods you request a lot, so don't forget to like and enjoy this video. Number 4, Avoid condiments. You know those herbs and spices that come in packets, which you put on meat or chicken? Many of these are high in sodium and also contain dyes, preservatives, and sauces. Who puts dressings on salad? Some sauces are high in fat. Caesar salad. Did you know that Caesar salad dressing has saturated fat? You should avoid it if you have fatty liver disease. After all, salad time is not the time to be ingesting bad fats. Ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise are sauces that you should avoid adding to your food. Many sauces also contain preservatives, and some even have dyes. But even if you choose a brand that is free of these, you'll still end up consuming simple sugars and carbohydrates, which could worsen your metabolic issue. So if possible, refrain from eating spicy food to which you keep adding spices. Number 5, abstain from alcohol. Alcoholic beverages. Exclude them from your routine and diet. Knowing how alcohol affects our body, if you have fatty liver, it could exacerbate this condition. But I heard a doctor say that even one drink a day won't harm the liver. In this case, we need to consider two groups. The first group includes people with fatty liver caused by alcohol. In this case, total abstinence is necessary. There's no room for discussion. If the fatty liver isn't caused by alcohol, according to the guidelines, even one drink wouldn't hurt. However, it's very hard to know the impact of alcohol and how much it has contributed to fat in your liver, so I strongly suggest you entirely cut out alcohol. So, no alcohol at all will greatly benefit your health if you have liver fat. Number 6, avoid pork lard and coconut oil. Did you think coconut oil was healthy or pork lard? Write in the comments, because if you have liver fat, you should avoid these fats. I don't know who said eating lard was healthy. Guys, for God's sake, have some sense and stop eating pork lard. There are a lot of videos here, I know, claiming that animal fat wouldn't harm humans, which is a complete lie, a total fallacy. Well, animal fat, like pork lard, contains many saturated fats that can increase your bad cholesterol, your LDL, which is demonstrably increased by LDL. Of course, in excess, increased, like I'm saying, you're going to have a higher chance of having a stroke, of having a heart attack. So stop eating pork fat, okay? And coconut oil too. I know there's a lot of marketing about coconut oil, but it's not healthy. It's high in saturated fats. And number 7 that you're going to avoid, take it easy here. We're getting to the list of best habits, best foods. But number 7 is that you also should cut out ultra-processed foods. So fast foods, for example, if you go to the market, boxed pizza, frozen pizza, you're going to avoid it. Frozen burger, you're going to avoid these foods. Then peel more and unwrap less. It's a tip that will do a lot of good for your health, but avoid ultra-processed foods. There's already a strong association between high consumption of ultra-processed foods and liver fat. Okay, let's move to the list of the best. Remember, there are a lot of good things on this list, because every video that I talk about liver fat, there's always someone who comments, it's the most liked comment. By the way, I already know what to do about liver fat. If it's good, stop eating. If it's bad, you should eat. Everyone enjoys that common joke about it, but I'm debunking it because it's not true. If you who are watching don't believe this, I'll prove it to you in this video. You shouldn't do what these people are saying. All right, there are 11. Let's begin. Number 1, consume fruits with a low glycemic index. But there's no fructose. Excess fructose is what damages the liver. So you shouldn't eat fruits the normal way, but aim for fruits with a low glycemic index, a low glycemic load. What does that mean? What is a low glycemic index? When you eat a certain fruit, it won't raise your blood sugar. A low glycemic load means a low quantity of sugars. For instance, guava, avocado, strawberry, plum, and unpeeled apple. All these fruits are good for people with fatty liver. Why? Because they contain vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. So they're beneficial to your health. Oranges are also a good fruit. Just remember, you have to eat the orange with the pulp, with the fiber part. It's no use just juicing the orange, as you've already seen that juice is one of the worst foods for those with fatty liver. But eating oranges is a good alternative. Number 2, what will you do if you have a fatty liver? Subscribing to this channel here is very important. Maybe the most important. If you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe. And if you are, enable notifications. Click on the bell to mark all options, otherwise you won't improve your fatty liver. Just kidding, that's not the second step. Just a reminder that you really need to subscribe to this channel. Let's move on to the second step. Add lean proteins like chicken, eggs, and fish. But I don't have access to salmon, tuna, or sardines, which are fish that have omega-3, a good type of fat that can even help with this process. But here I'm indicating lean proteins. Do you remember what I said? So if you have access to other fish, that can also work because you will be consuming the amount of protein you need without excess saturated fats. And of course, if you have access to these fish that I mentioned, which are cold water fish, especially sardines, then that also has an additional benefit to your health. But add lean proteins. And the egg, can people with fatty liver disease eat eggs? Yes. But in the yolk, you should eat the egg white with the yolk because the egg white has proteins, but the yolk also has many vitamins, like B vitamins, which are good for your health. So you don't need to be afraid of eating eggs, up to 1 or 2 eggs a day. That is healthy, and you should consume at least the minimum amount of protein. So lean proteins, essential for those with fatty liver disease. Number 3, vegetables like lettuce, arugula, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, cucumbers, and radishes. They are excellent. You should add them to your diet. Why? They will provide you with fiber, vitamins, minerals, and you will also be more satisfied. You'll eat less. So it's very important that you add vegetables to your diet. Which vegetable do you prefer? Put it in the comments because I always like to read them. Chayote. It's worth eating chayote too. It's not worth saying it doesn't have taste. In another video, I talked about chayote and it received a lot of criticism, but chayote is actually a great vegetable. I really like chayote. Number 4, add foods with anti-inflammatory properties such as cocoa, so 70% dark chocolate. It has the good type of fat, can help you with that. There are even studies showing cocoa can reduce blood pressure. Coffee is another food with anti-inflammatory properties. There are studies relating to those with steatohepatitis, fat-induced liver inflammation, showing that coffee can even help in this process because it has tocopherol, which is vitamin E. They contain polyphenols, flavonoids, antioxidants. Coffee is an excellent food. Green tea. And here I'm talking about green tea, not green tea capsules. There, it's different. Green tea capsules have been associated with increased risk of hepatitis, inflammation in the liver. In fact, some people even had to undergo a liver transplant because of green tea capsules. So it's not about taking capsules of this and that, all right? Capsules of turmeric. Include turmeric in your diet. Don't keep taking supplements, taking capsules of this and that, thinking you're doing something good for your health. Give preference to actual food. Take these foods. You can do it. You don't need to take all these foods, but from each group, choose the ones you like the most. So, foods that have anti-inflammatory potential. Which other one? Garlic, for example. Garlic has allicin. It can also aid in this process. Oh, but I'd like to add, my doctor told me that drinking coffee won't resolve the issue of fatty liver disease. It will not cure fat in the liver. That's right. I'm not claiming that these foods are the cure for you to actually improve your liver fat. You have to make many modifications, lifestyle changes, then yeah. But these foods that have anti-inflammatory potential, they can definitely help in this process. They are not the cure, but they do help, and there are many studies that show this. Number 5, stay hydrated. Often your brain confuses the sensation of thirst with the sensation of hunger. You end up eating more because you're dehydrated. This is also scientifically proven. What should you do? At least an ounce per 2 pounds of body weight. So, a person who weighs 200 pounds, on average, should consume almost 3 quarts of water. In some specific situations, this could be modified. For example, those who have kidney disease, who have weak kidneys, are on hemodialysis, for example. In this case, the nephrologist can indicate another value. So it's not for everyone, but as a rule, if you don't have any other serious health problems, 30 milliliters per kilogram of weight, you will be hydrating properly and will also have benefit for various issues in your body. Number 6, add olive oil. You've seen that coconut oil, that lard are bad fats? Olive oil is not. Olive oil has unsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, which can help you in this process including increasing the good cholesterol, HDL. So it's worth adding olive oil. Not to mention the antioxidants, the anti-inflammatory potential it has in olive oil. Another thing that people say here is if you heat it, if you saute the vegetables, for example, in olive oil, it will become a toxic food, which is a big lie. The smoke point, which we call olive oil, you can't reach it on the stove in your house. Then you can saute the vegetables, you can heat the olive oil a little. What you can't do is overheat it, okay? So that's another myth. You're witnessing various myths that I'm discussing in this video. As it's crucial, it's a metabolism expert's duty to disseminate information. Number 7, easily incorporate fiber. If you add chia seeds or flax seeds, for instance, if you're going to eat a piece of fruit, those fruits I mentioned, sprinkle a bit of chia, add some flaxseed. It's beneficial for your gut, proven to reduce the risk of bowel cancer, colorectal cancer. Incorporating fiber in your diet. It'll decrease the glycemic index of your meals. You'll digest food more efficiently. It will also satisfy you more. It's very essential that you incorporate these fibers in your diet. Not to mention that it has good fats. They can improve your cholesterol. There really are several benefits. I could make a video just about chia, just about flaxseed. Oh, but what about oatmeal? Is oatmeal beneficial for those with fat in the liver? No. If you have fat in your liver, you should avoid oatmeal, because most oatmeal is made up of sugars, of carbohydrates. So avoid oatmeal. There was a video where I said that I consumed oatmeal. Yes, I do. Oatmeal is a healthy food. The question here is for those who have fat in their liver. You have to remember that I'm talking specifically about fatty liver disease. And oatmeal is not a good deal. It's more worthwhile for you to use chia or flaxseed. You'll be doing good for your health. Number 8. And here's a habit you should have. Your sleep. Your sleep. How many hours a day are you sleeping? Studies have shown that people who slept less than 6 hours had an increase in metabolic diseases such as fat in the liver. So pay attention to your sleep and also to your routine, because it's essential for your body to understand what time of day it is. There was another study that found that people who slept during the day and stayed awake at night also had a higher risk of fatty liver, metabolic diseases, and type 2 diabetes. So it's worthwhile to regulate your routine and sleep for at least 6 hours. Then there's another debate whether 6 or 8 hours is ideal. Let's agree on 6 hours here, because I know for 8 hours many people don't have the luxury to sleep that long, but if you focus on 6 hours, 6 little hours a day, you'll be doing good for your health. And why is it important to regulate your routine? Because of certain hormones like cortisol, which is naturally higher in the morning and decreases throughout the day. It reaches much lower levels at night. It's crucial that your body grasps what time of day it's in, even for hormone production. Number 9, exercise. I've been slow to mention physical activity. If you've got fat in your liver, you should engage in at least 150 minutes of physical activity each week. Divide that up into 3 or more sessions. For instance, 30 minutes 5 times a day. An achievable goal, wouldn't you say? Or 50 minutes thrice weekly. What kind of exercise should you do? The one you enjoy the most. It could be running, walking, water aerobics, or swimming. Choose an activity that's accessible to you. You can even do it at home or while walking down the street. Joining a gym isn't a must. Sometimes you live in a city without one, or lack the means to access one. But make sure to engage in physical activities. Don't get hung up on which exercise is the best. Ideally, exercises against resistance like gym workouts or swimming, or even exercises that strengthen muscles. They're going to help you with this metabolic issue a bit more. Lowering blood sugar, improving the fat content in the liver. But if you can access walking, for example, if you can go for walks, do it. It also will benefit your health. And if you want to take it a step further, there are studies that show that those who do 250 minutes per week have an added benefit. So it's worth it if you can manage. If not, 150 minutes per week, I'm already very satisfied. It's not worth doing it all in one day. Then it can actually be worse. Weekend athletes, as they are called, that person who does nothing all week and comes on Saturday, does a lot of exercise. That's not healthy. You should at least split it into 3 or more times. Agreed? Number 10, evaluation for other diseases. It's very common when I see patients with fatty liver, people become very focused. Oh, I have fat in my liver. Forget about other changes. What other change increases your risk of having fat in your liver? Changes in the thyroid, for example. If your hormones are out of whack, it'll be a lot tougher for you to improve your fatty liver. Other hormonal changes, like too much cortisol being made, can also make this liver fat process worse, even cause fatty liver. So it's really important to look at this part of other diseases and also to treat associated diseases, which are more common in people with fatty liver, which is a metabolic change. So changes in cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes. So pay attention. How are your exams going? Do you get regular checkups? It's really important to also look, of course, with a doctor's help, for these diseases that can be linked to, or even worsen, fatty liver. And then, if you have any hormonal issues, it'll be a lot harder for you to get better, even if you do everything right. Number 11, and here I'm going to put a really big asterisk. Number 11, I want you to pay attention. If you do it the wrong way, you can even worsen fat in the liver, which is weight management. There was a study that found that patients who had fat in the liver and reduced it from 5 to 8%, they had an improvement in this issue of hepatic steatosis. So, weight control is very important. But why did I put the asterisk? Because if you do a very rapid weight reduction, which is the case for many people, the liver can even be injured. It can increase necrosis, it can cause more death in liver cells, worsening this issue of fat in the liver. But what would be a sudden or rapid weight loss? According to the American Diabetes Society, a safe amount for you to lose weight is 0.5 to 1 kilogram per week. Values higher than that. So 10 kilograms in a month is not good for your liver at all. But restrictive diets. Restrictive diets can even worsen the issue of fat in the liver. This happens a lot in practice. You get there, but I lost 20 to 30 pounds in a month. I didn't eat hardly anything and the fat in my liver got worse. So now you know why. So slowly change your lifestyle. Doing these habits that I explained, adding the best, and removing the worst foods, you will do yourself a lot of good for your health. From 0 to 10, what rating do you give this video? If it's a 10, I'll make more videos like this. And write in the comments what part of the world you're from, what country, what city. I'm talking about Porto Alegre, but I've lived in many cities around the world, and I always like to read. It gives me great pleasure to meet friends and acquaintances here in the comments. So be sure to write your city. Now I'm going to give you a suggestion to watch. You saw that I talked about fruits for the fat in the liver, the best fruits. There's a video where I explain the worst fruits, the ones you'll avoid, and also talk more about the best ones. Do you want to understand more about it? So watch this video here, which I'm sure will be good for you. A hug. See you next time.